Hi, James.
Hi, Shara.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah, very well, thank you. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's still early here, so the day's just getting started. Looks like we have about 12 participants on so far, so we'll give it about 2 minutes before we go ahead and get started. Hi, Lynn. I see Lynn joined us.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, James.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning.
We'll give it about 2 more minutes.
Welcome to anyone joining.
Alrighty, for those that have just joined us, we'll go ahead and get started in about a minute. So. Alrighty. Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us for this month's Sugar Market Academy webinar. This month we have James Andrews, who will be our subject matter expert, and today we'll be covering using advanced analytics to report on your marketing data. James, I'll let you go ahead and take it away. But first, if there are any questions during this webinar, as always, feel free to use the Q&A, as chat doesn't necessarily work in webinar format. So again, just be sure to type your questions in Q&A. Also, um, this webinar recording and all webinar recordings can be found in Sugar University. So if you'd like to distribute this to your peers and colleagues, or if you'd like to go back and listen to this webinar or other webinars, you can go to Sugar University and you can search for the Sugar Market Academy course, and you'll see this recording and all previous recordings in Sugar U. James, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Shara. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today. So my name is James Andrews. Some of you may already know me, but I'm a CRM application specialist and I've worked on the Sugar Market team for around 3 years at Sugar. So what I want to take you through today really is advanced analytics and how we can report on some of our marketing data from Sugar Market. So some agenda items for today. Now, I want to very briefly go through what is advanced analytics, because there may be some of you on the call that maybe aren't using it today, that hope to use it in the future. We're going to look at some of the top reasons to use advanced analytics. I've actually built a advanced analytics dashboard, which we're going to review today, and we're going to dive into some of the reports and see, what useful features might be there to empower you to create some really creative reporting and dashboards in advanced analytics. And then we'll have a bit of time at the end for a Q&A. So I don't have many slides because I really do want to get into the system today. But first of all, what is advanced analytics? So advanced analytics is a powerful third-party reporting tool that, as a Sugar Market user, you have available to you. It allows you to create very visual reports and then use those reports to create a wider dashboard, and it's pulling data from your Sugar Market account. And that will be the most recent data as well. So it's those reports that you create in advanced analytics will be feeding from your Sugar Market data and giving you that very latest view of your data. Now, I do have a note here because if you currently don't have an advanced analytics account and you'd like to get access one, you can absolutely do that as a Sugar Market customer. You can either reach out to your marketing automation consultant if you've got market services, or you can contact our support team to get you set up there. Okay, so what are the top reasons to use advanced analytics? Now, the first and I suppose the most important reason to use advanced analytics is to get that holistic top-level marketing view of your data coming from Sugar Market. So Sugar Market is great for creating custom reports, but advanced analytics allows you to create reports that look at many variables, such as you might want to report on all of your newsletter emails that you've sent from the system over the past 12 months. Advanced analytics makes that really easy for you because you can pull in all of the emails that you've sent out of the system into one nice report, and then you can make that very visual. You can use bar charts to show that data. So it's not the raw data itself. And then you also have, another example here is you might have resource download landing pages, which, people are coming to on your website. Maybe they're Sugar Market landing pages, but or have, pages that just have a Sugar Market form. People are downloading assets like ebooks or things like that, and you want to report on the form submissions, over the last 30 days. So it allows you to do that in quite an easy way. It allows you to visualize your data in many ways. So I just mentioned, bar charts, but you've got pie charts, line charts. There's many ways in which you can present your data, which allows you to kind of, present the data back in the best format to the rest of the business. As a marketing team, you want to make sure that people are seeing your work, right, and they're seeing the performance and the increases that your work has achieved. So that's number 2 on the list. Now, what it also allows you to do is add many reports into a single dashboard view, and this is obviously the most beneficial part, to advanced analytics, because currently in Sugar Market you can create many reports, but actually bringing that data all together in one view is very difficult to do. So advanced analytics kind of fills that void and allows you to do that and create very nicely presented dashboards. Number 4, it gives you the flexibility to easily modify and organize your dashboards. So some of the things that you can do in advanced analytics, you can move around your reports, which are referred to as looks in the system. You can change their size, you can add, titles and buttons, you can add filters, and you can also change the colors of your charts so that they match your branding. So we'll look a bit more at this in a moment. And then 5, you can easily schedule or share entire dashboards and reports in different formats. So you can provide, people within your organization the most up-to-date marketing data on a regular basis. So I've got a little screenshot there, but I will show this. So you can schedule dashboards out on a daily, monthly, weekly basis, and you can also select who that goes to and what format that is sent in. So those are my quick sort of top 5 points, but what I want to do now is actually dive into Advanced Analytics itself. So I'm just going to switch over to my other tab here. It's just logged me out on the 30 minutes. Perfect. One moment. So in case you didn't know, Advanced Analytics logs you out every 30 minutes. Let me just stop my screen share a minute and get that back up. Okay. So when you log into Advanced Analytics, you're able to create looks, which are your reports. What I've done today is I've saved a number of different looks in a folder here for us, and I've embedded those looks within a dashboard. So that's what we're going to look at first. So what you can see on screen is a dashboard that I've created in Advanced Analytics, and I've used some demo data that we have from a few different sources. So please do excuse some of the the numbers, but hopefully I can showcase today kind of what you can do in terms of building out a dashboard which showcases your marketing data. So the first thing here that you can see is we have email statistics. So what I've done here is I've added a number of different miniature reports which give us a count of all of the emails that we have sent, delivered, opened, clicked, bounced, and unsubscribed out of Sugarmarket in one view. And this is doing a count all time in this particular example, but you could filter this based on the last 12 months, last 30 days. So this has given us a quick top level view of just how many emails we've sent, and those kind of key email statistics. What we've also got here is some more sort of visual reporting. So we've got performance-based reports here. So we've got emails by open day of the week and hour. We've got a nice line chart here, and I will dive into some of these so you can see how these were built out in a moment. We've got top performing emails. So in this case, I've just been able to pull in, unique open percentage and unique click for a number of different emails in the system. And all of these reports that I've added to this dashboard, you can hover over and see the statistics here for each. You can even click and say, okay, well, we just want to see unique opens or unique clicks, and you can change the report as you need to. What we've got on this far right hand side is Sugarmarket total email clicks by month. So you can break down your total clicks for all emails by month, so you can see how that's changing over time. And these reports, as I said, feed off your data. So if you've got this set to the last 90 days, you can have that sort of rolling as part of your dashboard, showing those stats here. I've got some sort of other examples here where maybe you want to understand the structure of your database, maybe to understand the number of leads that you've got in the system. It might be to understand where they are in terms of their status. So what I've kind of done here is I've created a count for the number of leads in the new status, and then I've done a bit of a breakdown here for the other types of statuses within the system. Now, if you're using CRM, these statuses may be very familiar to you. We've got things like here, are they a status of recycled? And we can hover above here and see account. Are they a dead lead, in process? So we've got all of those status represented in a nice little pie chart here. We can also track things like the number of marketable records in the system. So I will definitely dive into this one so you can see what how I've built that report. But really what we're looking at here is all of the records in our system, of those that are not unsubscribed, they are not hard bounced, and they don't have a blank as an email address. So that's what we're referring to here when we talk about marketable records here. And then to sort of support that total, I've then built a bar chart to show that by month and how those kind of records, are being created, marketable records are being created in the system by month. We can report on things like web analytics. So in Sugarmarket, we track, assuming that you have a web tracking code on your website, we'll be tracking all of the web hits that come to your web hits on your site, and you can then report on those numbers. So here what I've got on the left-hand side is the total number of web hits that we've got received in a period. And then I've sort of built a chart to show that by month and a breakdown over 2024 of those web hit totals. And then finally, on our dashboard, we've got events. So if you're using the events module in Sugarmarket and you're running events, you can report on things like attended counts, number of registrations, and then I've also put in a bar chart here to show our top events over the last 12 months. And we can see things like hover above here and see how many registered versus how many attended. And again, you can click through this and just look at attended or registered. And as I said, I'm using test data here, so please do excuse the names. These would obviously be the names of your events, and hopefully you'd have a better naming structure than our test data. So we kind of reviewed the dashboard here, but I really want to dive into this and sort of edit this and show you how I built this. Basically, I want to sort of reverse engineer it a bit. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to click into our dashboard from our folder. And then we are going to go to the top right here and we're going to edit our dashboard. So as I said, this dashboard is made up of many reports or looks within the system. Before we get into that, I want to talk about some of the elements that I've added here to sort of make this more digestible. So things like, I've added a logo here at the top here. Now, this is something you previously struggled to do in Advanced Analytics, but now what you can actually do here is if you add it, go to the top left and you hit add, you can use Markdown, which allows you to basically pull in an image from, as long as you have a URL for that image. So if I edit this, so you can see here, I've actually just put in a little line of code here, and I can share this if anyone wants to add a logo or an image into their current existing dashboards. It's just pulling in our Sugarmarket logo from our website. I've just taken the URL here and popped that in there, and it's being pulled into my dashboard. Now, obviously, this requires some basic sort of code knowledge. There is a link here, though, to the sort of accepted Markdown that you can add into this Markdown section. And you can use this to just simply type and add a title and a subtitle here. Now, in this case, I've just used it to embed a logo. What I've also got here are some text elements. So I've added in a text element at the top here, and there is a text editor here. So this doesn't require any code or anything like that. You can just simply type into this box, and we can add, easily add text here. And we have some basic editing tools here to be able to format that text, align that text. We can add bullets and numbered lists here. And we can also change the heading styles here. So I've set this to heading 1. We can change that, and you can add links here too. So if you need to link out from your dashboard to external sources, you can do that. I should also mention that whilst I don't have it in my dashboard, you can add a button here. So if I just hit button here, we can add a button into our dashboard. And again, we can link out, maybe it's to our website, or maybe it's to another dashboard that we've created in Advanced Analytics. So you can add a hyperlink here and change, obviously, the text on that button. You can even change the design and brand it accordingly. So you can select from some of the color palette here, or you can even use a custom hex code if you want to use your own brand colors. So a nice little addition. I'm just going to delete that. So as I come down here, I just want to sort of click into some of these reports that I've added in. So the first one under performance here, this chart here, we've got email opens by weekday, hour, and hour of the day. So if I click in the top right here, I can actually edit this report because it is a standalone report in itself. So I can hit this edit button, and what it's going to do, it's going to open up my editor here, and then I can make changes to this individual report. But I want to sort of show how some of the things that I've done to build this. So I've added, the first thing here in Advanced Analytics is we have to add our columns of data here. And on the left-hand side here, we have all of the things, all of the fields that we can add in as columns to build our report. So this data tab is where, if we add in any of these variables from the side here, they will go into this area here, and then we can continue to run and iterate here. So Advanced Analytics is pulling from your Sugarmarket account. It allows you to access a lot of the standard fields that you have in Sugarmarket. And something I just want to be clear here as well, when you're building these reports, it's feeding the data, so you're not changing or affecting your data from Sugarmarket at all, right? There's no risk here for you to make changes to your data, right? You're simply reporting and pulling that information in. So what we've got in this particular report is we've actually got under our email open activity, we've got total open count. And then you can see here, we've also got a column here for open day of the week and open hour of the day. And we've actually pivoted on open day of the week. And that has allowed us to basically create this visualization where we have all of the days of the week grouped together. And we have this nice bar chart where it shows us the peaks and the troughs in our, our opens across the week. So along the bottom here, on the axis, we've got the hours, and this is like a 24-hour clock. So you can see, at 11 a.m., we've received the most opens. So it allows you to identify where there are peaks and troughs, and you can even sort of see potentially where opens are happening on some of your emails where they're not your sort of usual send times. So you can identify areas where maybe your recipients are opening your emails. So this visualization is created from the data and the columns that we add in at the bottom here, and we can change that visualization or how we want this to look. So we've got this set currently to a line chart, but we can easily switch between things. We can show a table of data, we can say show columns, we can show bar chart. You've even got things like scatter plots and pie charts. Now, obviously, pie chart won't work for this particular report, but hopefully you get the idea there. Okay, so I mean that was the first report in our the first visual report in our dashboard. But I want to look at some of the bar charts now because they are a bit more simplistic than this report. So in here we've got, if we edit this report, we've got our bar chart, and here we've added a whole bunch of filters here. So we're saying we're looking at campaign recipients that would have a sent date in the last 48 months, and we can obviously make changes here to that. So we've set it to months. You could do years, you can do days, whatever you need to do here to sort of filter your data down. Now, in my case, I actually put in some additional filters here because I wanted to make sure that our report looked presentable, and I didn't show any sort of null data or where we didn't have any opens or clicks. So I've actually put in sent count has to be equal, greater than or equal to 1. And the campaign recipient unique opens and clicks cannot be 0, right? That allows you to sort of filter this data down and make sure you don't have any sort of things in your report that you don't want. And you can even then filter based on the campaign name as well. So in this case, I've said doesn't contain survey, but you could say, doesn't contain a particular name here. You can even say does contain. So you've got a lot of flexibility here. Okay. So just to be clear as well, when this particular report, I've gone through, and if you're familiar with advanced analytics, you'll know when you go to create any report in the system, there's a breakdown of the type of report that you want to create. So in this case, this is campaign performance. So we're looking at email-based data, data that, such as clicks, opens, recipient data, that sort of stuff. But you have many categories, and this is just one of them. So I'll scroll down now, and I'll sort of come off of email, and I'll scroll down to maybe one where we're looking at web analytics, for example. So this report here, where we're looking at web analytics, if we go to edit this one in our dashboard, this is actually looking at web activity. So in a different section in the reporting. For this bar chart, I've kind of said, web activity start date has to be within 2024. The record count has to be greater than or equal to 1. And I've said here the web activity parameter is any value. So we're looking at all web hits, but you can be really granular here, and you can say, okay, well, I just want to see a specific URL on our website. So this is where you could use this, where I'm saying any value. You can click into this and you can pick any sort of URL that anyone has navigated to just simply by starting to type. And you can use these filters to add, multiple URLs if you're interested in seeing lots of different links. So whilst I've gone really broad with my report, you could be much more granular than I've been. So all we're doing here on this report is we're looking at the start month of the web activity here under web activity, start date, and then we've added in our measure, which is the record count. So just the number of web hits on a particular date. And finally, on our dashboard, we have events. So, very similarly here, we can edit our events report to have a look at this and just see, in this case, we're using events as our key module. And then we are filtering here to say, look at particular data for those that have registered and attended. So I've actually put some numbers in here just to return these 3 events. You can say here, okay, well, I'm only interested in looking at, events that we've run that have over 100 people registered. Or you could filter based on name. So you could actually come down here to the data. You can see our column event name, and you can hit the cog here add a filter. I'll add a filter in the top, and you can say, well, okay, I'm only interested in seeing anything with event name in the name in Sugarmarket. So we could say here, okay, well, it needs to, start with, contain. In this case, we could say contains. To make this simple for here, I'm just going to look at this test for logging one, and we can say anything that starts with, start typing, and it will actually show you a preview of all of your campaigns, all of your events that you've got created in the system. But I can simply just type test here, and then I can rerun my data. And then what we should see here is only an event, that has test in the name, which in our case should only be this line 3. Okay, there you go. So we've got one line of data. And now obviously if we go back to our visualization and I close these filters down, we're only now looking at the registered and attended data for that particular event. So it allows us, advanced analytics is allowing us to easily just say what data do we want to see, what data do we not want to see, and then we can decide on how that output looks. So you can play around with this, and you can kind of experiment. As I said, you can't break any of the data here, so you can run some tests here and see what outcomes you get, and sometimes you end up with some very interesting results with the the visualization options you've got for you. Yeah.
James, I've had a question come through on here. Are you able to show? They were unsure at the start how you're actually getting these reports into a dashboard. So are you able to show the kind of how to create the reports in the first place, and then how to add that to a dashboard as well on here? So I don't know if you can create an email campaigns, top email campaigns report quickly on it, just so they can see
the
basics. In other words, the basics that we show in training.
Yeah, sure. So if you want to sort of create a dashboard, from start to finish, you would come into the system, create a dashboard, and then once you're inside it, obviously there would be nothing here, but in the top left you can hit add, and then you can select this visualization option. So when you do that, it's going to open up our site panel here, and it's going to allow us to then select the starting point here. So I mentioned campaign performance, events, and also web activity. So you need to kind of know, what you're reporting on and which one of these categories to select. So you can see here we've got campaign performance, as mentioned, contact journey. If you want to report on contacts and accounts themselves, you can select this here. So this would really be useful for if you wanted to see how many contacts you've got in the system, how many accounts you've got in the system, and how that changes over time, for example. Events we mentioned, but if we just select campaign performance here.
Campaign performance is a good way of, because in Sugarmarket you can see how one email is done. So you can see, a single email opens, clicks, unsubscribes, etc. Fantastic. But campaign performance in here allows you to then holistically see how all of your campaigns are doing. Your emails are doing by opens, by clicks, by type of email. And James will show you right now how you can build that through the campaign performance.
Yeah, so if we're starting from scratch here and we're saying, okay, we want to build a report. It's a very simple report. We just want to look at opens and clicks, maybe, as you've seen on one of the reports I've shown. What we can do is we can come down to this left-hand side, right, and we can decide exactly what we want to report on. So under campaigns here, we've got things like name. So if I want to add that in, I single click and it's added that column in for me. If I was to run this now, it's going to give me a list of all campaigns that I've sent out of Sugarmarket, right? It's not, we've added no filters at this point. Well, there is actually a default filter that's added in here within the last 1 year, which is looking at the start of the calendar year. But we can say here, okay, we're only interested in seeing things maybe in the last 3 months, 30 days, right? So we could say, okay, it was in the last 3 months. So where we can, and if we run that now, it's going to give us a list of any emails that we've sent out of Sugarmarket in the last 3 months, and it's just going to give us the name. So this is the internal name, that you've you've kind of decided on in SugarMarket. So we're probably going to see a lot of test data here. So yeah, you can see now we've got all of that, those emails pulled in that we've sent in the last 3 months. Now, what we don't have here is a measure. So we've not said, okay, what we want to measure here, you know, as part of our report. So this is where we can say, okay, well, we're interested in email open activity. Maybe it's the total open count. Maybe it's the open date. Maybe it's the click activity, total click count for these particular, you know, emails that we've sent. So, you know, you can come through here and choose, but just for simplicity, we'll just look at, you know, the total click count, right? So we can just single click this. So your measures are always presented in orange. So in order to build a, you know, really to build a nice bar chart or something, you need both at least a column and a measure. So here, now if I now rerun this, we should get a total click count for each of these emails that we've got here as part of our filters. So in our case, we've got no link clicks because it's test data, right? But we could easily filter this if we wanted to. So imagine, you know, we've got you know, some data here for click counts and some where we don't have any clicks. We could actually filter on this measure. So we can actually add a filter in. So it's very easy to add a filter. You can either do it this way by clicking the cog and hit filter. It'll add a filter in here and you can decide, okay, I'm only interested in seeing any value that is greater than, you know, a specific number. And that can help you to remove some of those test emails or things that you've sent out of the system where, you know, they don't have any clicks. Or you can add the filter directly from this left-hand side. So actually when you know, click on here, you can simply click this little button here, filter by field. You know, we could do it for total open count just to show. So if I click this, you know, it's actually going to add a filter in here for at the top here, just by clicking that little filter by field icon. It's added in a filter here for me to be able to filter on total open count too. So really just all the looks or the reports that you build are all based on these fields that you select here in your columns and your measures. And the measures will vary depending on, you know, the options here or the data set you're looking at. So there'll be slight variations as you look through, but the measures are always at the bottom here in orange. Does that, hopefully that helps.
And then yeah, how do you can you if we've got the schedule how to add this to a dashboard on here? So if we saved it, would add to that existing dashboard, and also there's
yeah. So
the scheduler
case,
as well.
In this case where we've created it, you know, we're adding to a dashboard, we can give our report a name. So in this case, you know, we're not going to see a lot of data, but if we give our report a name, you know, maybe it's emails in the last 3 months. We can save our report, and then it's actually just going to add it into the bottom here into our dashboard. And then we can click and drag and make it bigger, smaller, however we need to. Now ours is looking very boring. It's got no data in there, but you know, you can move this around. You can click and drag to reposition it. So that's how you kind of, from the very start, you know, create your report and then you drop it into your dashboard. And then, of course, you know, we can edit it at any point, make changes to it. And we can add notes to it as well. So if we add a note here, we can add additional text around this particular report. Now, when it comes to sort of, you know, scheduling out this dashboard or even the individual reports, you can do that in a number of different ways. If you want to schedule an entire dashboard that you've built, you can come up to the top right here and you can use this schedule option. I'm just going to save our dashboard because we've added that new dashboard here. So if I come to the top right now, I can actually schedule this out. So I can download the report, and I can download as a CSV or a PDF when I hit that download button. Alternatively, if I want to send this dashboard out to someone in our organization, maybe on a monthly basis, maybe it's even to yourself, right? You can schedule the report out for delivery. So if I click this button, opens this up, and we can decide, okay, what's our report called if it's something different to what we've named our dashboard. We can say how often do we want this to be sent? Monthly, weekly, daily, and maybe not daily. It's maybe a bit too much. And then you can select the time as well. And this will be according to the time zone that you've set. So just keep that in mind. And then we can decide who do we want this to send this to. And this doesn't necessarily need to be an advanced analytics user. It can be, any email address that you input here. So we've got an example in here, but you can add, as many emails here as you like. So you can send to multiple people. And then you have to decide what format do you want that to be sent in. CSV, so the raw data, PDF, or PNG visualization. You have a few filters available here, so you can actually add additional filters, and that actually adopts whatever you set on your dashboard. So you can set an overarching filter on your dashboard itself. And then finally, advanced options, you can add a custom message in here. You can decide, if you're scheduling it out as a PDF, what format do you want that to take? Is it A4? Is it as big as the dashboard itself? Maybe, this is probably more appropriate if you intend on printing information, right? And then the time zones available here if you want to change it. So this has adopted the default here, but, time zone, but maybe you're based in, somewhere else. Very brilliant. So that's how you can sort of schedule this dashboard out. What you can also do here is you can actually get an embed URL. So you can hit this get embed URL, and what this will do is it will generate a link here for your dashboard. You can grab this link, pop it in the browser, and then what this will do is it will just open up the dashboard. So this is a really easy way to share with your colleagues if they're advanced analytics users, a dashboard that you've built. And you can see when I've sent that, it's actually refreshing the dashboard. So it's looking at all of the reports in my dashboard and it's refreshing them accordingly. So it's putting the very latest data based on our reports. So depending on how many sort of reports you've got in here, it could take a few seconds to load. As you can see, it's now all loaded in, the latest information. And then, finally, of course, we have the ability to copy our dashboard if we want to sort of make some quick adjustments to it and create a new version of the dashboard. We can edit the individual reports. So, that's how you can schedule your dashboard. And you can do the same thing for an individual report. So if it's just a singular report you built, like the one we just created, you can explore from here, and then you could do the same thing. You can schedule that individual report out too. So it doesn't have to be a whole dashboard.
Yeah, can you show the list of reports? I think they should be back in there. Click on the market button, top left-hand corner. Does it go back to the main page with all the list of everything?
Yeah, so if basically for this, I created a folder here. So if I click into here, it shows me
There we go.
all of the reports that I've created here, and you can switch between views. I've got this in like a tile view, but you can switch it to list view, so you can toggle between them. So, to keep it nice and simple, I sort of created all of my reports under one folder. But yeah, that's kind of how you can organize. You can create your own folders. You can favorite things by like hitting the heart here. That'll actually favorite it, so you can easily find it under your favorites tab. You can add it to boards, and those boards can be shared as well. So if you have reports that you want to add to boards, you can do that. And then you've also got a recently viewed option here. So, if you've just been editing a report, you can easily get back to it that way too.
Cool.
So So yeah, that was kind of everything that I wanted to cover today. And you know, obviously I was assuming some knowledge of advanced analytics. So thanks, James, for sort of pulling back and
No, it's okay.
and looking back at sort of how you create a report to begin with. But you know, if you need any sort of help with reports and you know you have a marketing automation consultant, you can obviously reach out to them to help you with building some of these reports. But yeah, I hope that this has helped to sort of understand at least, you know, what's possible with advanced analytics if you're not using it currently, right? Hopefully my dashboard gave you some ideas as to what you can report on and how you can use filters to you know cut down that data.
I mean, it's a great tool for reporting on marketing data because Sugar Market doesn't have a way at the moment to kind of create your own dashboards in there, but from this advanced analytics tool, you can create your own reports and dashboards that will give you that, I say, holistic view of your marketing efforts. But are there any more questions? We've had a few come through, James. On here. That's why
Yeah, please,
I took you. That's why I took you down the route of showing additional features in here. There is no extra fee. No, Michelle, it's actually included with the Sugar Market package. Unless you require any training on there, then obviously the training there would be a cost involved with that. But the feature is included.
Yeah, so Michelle,
If you're not seeing,
yeah, I was going to say if you're not seeing it currently, you can obviously reach out to get that to get advanced analytics set up, but you may just not have a user for it.
Yeah, you may need just if you ask your CSM or your marketing automation consultant, they should be able to help you out with providing access. No problems, Michelle.
Do we have any other questions, James?
Not open ones.
Okay.
Yeah, well, any more questions?
All righty.
Hmm.
This was a really good session. So if there are no additional questions, looks like we have 14 minutes left. So we'll give that back to you. And as I mentioned earlier, the recording will be in Sugar University. And that's really that's all I have. James, anything else from you?
No, we will have another. Oh, sorry.
I
Two
was
Jameses.
just going to say that, yeah, there's two Jameses. How confusing.
Go on, James. You go first.
Yeah, there's not really much more to add, Shara. Obviously, we have documentation around advanced analytics, which can provide some insight, and obviously we can provide links with that if we're sharing the recording to that documentation. But that documentation really just helps you to sort of get going with advanced analytics.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, we'll have another topic coming up next month.
Yes.
Once we know what that is, we'll let everybody know.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day or evening.
Take care,
everyone, for joining.